Hey, beautiful people. Good evening, Obodo fam. Welcome back to our channel. You've been waiting. Amola, you are interested in this topic. You've been waiting anxiously for me. Oh, but I wasn't late. I was on the clock like it's 7 o'clock UK time, right on the dot. So I'm not late, but I understand that some people are more interested in this than others. So yeah, you're welcome. Please hit the like button as you're coming in, guys. Smash that notification bell. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Let's get into it. You're welcome to tonight's show. So today we are going to talk about something that is going to, I believe, is going to be very beneficial to all of us as adults, parents, men, women who live, across the globe, in the diaspora, in Nigeria, wherever you are. This topic is going to be of beneficial to you. So I welcome you all. Thank you very much for joining me. And this is Obodooyinbo TV. If this is your first time, you are just joining our channel or you are just seeing us, we are here almost on a daily basis, talking, trying to educate, trying to change the narrative. And we mostly talk about relationships and also occasionally we do the odd gists just to throw in the mix. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Subscribe, join our family so you can comment. If you cannot comment, it means you are not a subscriber. Only subscribers can put a comment in the comment section. So please subscribe, hit the like button, and also put your notification on so that whenever we are live, you can join us. We have sometimes our conversations here are very heated, okay? But they are always meaningful. There is no way that you can join us and we have these conversations that you don't learn anything. So please join our family. I welcome you all over the fam that are here now. Salute you all wherever you are joining me from. God bless you. Thank you very much for being here tonight. And also, if you are going to be picking this up later, I welcome you. Thank you very much. So we're just going to get into it. You guys know the story already. It's about this gentleman that sadly passed away. His name is Mr. Femi Oshibono. That's his name. He's popularly called Femi Fourscore. All right. That's what they call him. That's the name of his company. He's a property developer. If you guys heard about the Ikoyi building collapse, so he is the developer behind that building. Now, this story has been in the news going 2 weeks now. I'm not going to talk about the building because I think it's been discussed all across the platforms everywhere, the issue. And I'm not going to talk about that aspect. The building collapse is a very big tragedy, and we say a massive RIP to all those who lost their lives suddenly in this disaster, and their families. We are sending them our love and prayers. But we are here to learn about what's happened since then. Okay? We're learning from what's happened since this very unfortunate incident happened. So, after the Ikoyi building collapse, a lot of information has been coming out about this man. A lot of people didn't know him before. Okay? A lot of people actually didn't know him. But like I said in one of my shows that I did, I actually know him because he's a member of my church. Yes, he's a member. He's my Christian brother. Yeah, that's him. His name is Femi Oshibono. And the name of his company is Fourscore Fourscore Business or called Fourscore Holdings or whatever. It's Fourscore Sha. Anyway, so I know him quite well, not quite well, but from afar, because he used to come to our church here in London too. You remember he was living in London before he moved back to Nigeria. So he's quite known in my local parish here. Actually, in September, he was in my parish. He was right here in London in my parish because he likes he likes teaching the word of God a lot. He's a lover of the word of God. So he was right in my parish here in London on the 19th of September to be precise. And he was teaching in my parish. I wasn't in church that day, but I've heard him preach before. So after this man's, demise, unfortunately, because of the collapse of the Ikoyi tower, the building that he was developing, there's been a lot of news. Most of them hearsay, not. I can't say if they are verified because it's always a lot of them say when it comes to things like that. So one of the news that really caught my attention was the fact that the blogs were saying that this man's family are at loggerheads, that they are fighting over property. Okay, I'm sharing my screen with you now. And this is what one of those publications said. It said, Oshibono's wife Doyin arrives Nigeria after her husband's passing. And it just simply says that the founder of Foursquare Heights Limited, Femi Oshibonas, he's been found. He was found in the debris of the collapsed Ikoyi building. And, he's in Ikoyi area in Lagos, which is the affluent area of Lagos. And they said that the wife arrived on the 4th of November to Nigeria. Okay? She is 48 years old. Her name is Doyin Oshibono. And they said that she's a very private person. She left her abode, according to this one that I'm reading from. It says that she left her abode in the United Kingdom last night, Wednesday, and should be in Nigeria by now, which is November 5th. She has 3 daughters and will be grieving the loss of her husband and the children, their father. And they said that they now named some of the people that were also in that building. As at the last count, I understand that I don't know how many people, but it's quite a lot of people. I mean, nobody should have even had to suffer like that. It's rather tragic that people had to go like that. But unfortunately, it's happened. So that's the wife. That's the picture of the wife doing. And I tell you, she has little or no social media presence. It took a while for me to dig out that picture, and that is Mr. Femi. All right. Are you guys following me? Can you hear me? Yeah? Are you guys hearing me? I need to confirm that before I continue. Are people hearing the comment section? Evelyn, can you hear me? Amola, are you hearing me? Please confirm if you can hear me because I don't know. I don't know if people are hearing me. I need to know that you're hearing. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. Good, because the comment section was a bit silent there. So I was worried that I'm reading to myself. Okay, let's carry on. So that was the first report. And then there is this one. Okay, this one also. After that one, another report said that let me share again, share screen. And the other report said that this is what the other report says. It says that Ikoyi collapse building, Femi Oshibono's family speaks on alleged feud with wife. Okay. For some reason, this thing is usually very slow. It's slower than the screen. So are you guys seeing it? I don't know if you are seeing it yet, but let me share again. Let me share screen again. Yeah. Okay, this is it. So there's been rumors after this incident that when the wife got to Nigeria, that straight away she went to the police station to go and carry, and that she was locked out. Okay, first of all, the first information that people were reporting was that the family locked her out from her husband's house in Lagos, and they didn't allow her access to her husband's house, and they told her to go and stay in a hotel in Lagos. and that after that there was a big fallout between this Mrs. Oshibono and the family of the late Mr. Femi, and that the lady, went to the police station to go and get mopo or soldiers to go and to get involved in the matter to arrest the in-laws, and they've been fighting. Okay, so this is the information out there, and it generated a lot of conversation on social media. It's been buzzing on social media, and I said we need to talk about this because every blog out there, they are reporting it as if there is tug of war going on. Because don't forget that this incident happened less than 10 days ago. Okay, less than 2 weeks it happened, and to the best of my knowledge, these people have not even been laid to rest yet. They've not been committed to murder act yet. So how come before even the first thing, which is to allow the people that have passed to rest, and to cover their nakedness, or cover their, what do you call it, to allow to commit them to mother earth, how come there is fight going on already? Is it that serious that they are fighting over property? So it generated a lot of conversation on social media, and people were for and against, and the conversation is around who owns a man's wealth, who owns a man's inheritance when he is gone. Is it his wife and children, or is it his family? That's you know, his extended family now, i.e., brothers, sisters, if he has parents. That's the conversation. And I'll read some very, very interesting posts on social media to you in a minute. But this one says that the family, Femi Oshibono's family, denies rumors of fight between them. Okay, the family of the late managing director of Fourscore Homes, Mr. Femi Oshibono, has discredited any rumor of feud between his wife and the deceased and siblings. Hmm? So he was taken in the Ikoyi building, and the report last week that said that the wife Doyin flew into Nigeria from the United States following the passing of the man, and was denied access to Ikoyi residence by his siblings. The report further said that she arrived at the Ikoyi house with a mobile police to lay claim to her late husband's assets, including luxury vehicles, money, and other valuable items. However, the lawyer, Olufemi Adeniyi, in a statement on Monday, written on behalf of the family, said the reports were falsified. Okay? He said is fake news. Lori Iro, it never happened. It's all lies. I mean, sometimes I just wonder how people will sit down and falsify news. They will just manufacture news. I don't understand it. You guys remember when the issue of Osifo and Chidinma happened? This is the same way we saw a very big conspiracy theory that one human being sat down and wrote a plot and said how it was Osifo's wife that sent Chidinma because she wants to go and marry another man. She's not interested in the marriage, that he was set up. And normally when you see those reports, you never see the author, but they start flying on social media and people start running with it. Eventually, we'll find out that those were all lies. Until even the wife, Osifo's wife, remember, the late Osifo's wife had to threaten that she was going to sue one online blog before they backed off. I don't know why people do this. You just sit down, there is a tragedy, and you take advantage of the tragedy to your own gain. It is so pathetic, it is so sad and shameful that people behave like this. So just because you want to sell your blogs or you want to sell your online platform or newspaper, you just sit down and you form massive story that is not even true. So the family now that are grieving the loss of their matriarchal or patriarchal, or what do you call it, patriarch, has to now issue a statement saying that it is lies, it is falsified. The brother actually said that these sadistic media houses referred to were actually, that the person they were are actually referring to was Ebun, who is a female, and Lanre. Both of them have no time to ambush anyone on any matter whatsoever. These are the siblings of the late man. That they are the best anyone would love to dwell. That while the wife in reference is a peace-loving, a very soulful woman, doing of whom, as a united family, they are still more than anyone, grieving over the loss of their departed loved one. They even said it's US that Doyin returned from. Lies, lori iro. And the family said that Doyin had just returned from UK. I beg, is there no difference between UK and US? Now, wow. They said that she returned from the UK with only her second daughter, who is called Pelumi, who is studying medicine abroad, in order to meet the family and plan a befitting burial for her husband. She was all tears, and it was all hugs, condolences, sympathy, comfort, solace, prayers, and the feeling of loss that was between the wife and the man's family. And they say photos don't lie. Mm? And that's when they showed that picture that I showed you just now. I'll go back to it in a minute. The family were together, consoling one another, as evidence in the shot that was posted. Okay? And they said that Oshibona's wife and one of the brothers said that there is nothing like that. Nothing. And the lawyer said, pleaded with the public to allow the family to mourn peacefully. Allow the family to mourn peacefully, they said. My goodness. Now, wow, my people. These days, I don't know. I just don't know because there's so much going out there that you don't even know. I'm telling you, you don't even know what is happening in terms of what people would just be sharing all kinds of things. Somebody will just sit down and start publishing things that are all false. I don't know why, but it is all wrong. Completely wrong. Okay. And this is the last one I'm going to show you. I think this is it, if I'm sharing it correctly. Yeah, this is the picture. This is the picture. Can you see? This is the picture that they were referring to of the siblings. Yeah, that's the siblings that they were referring to. That's the siblings that they were referring to. And they had to post this picture just to convince people, okay, the news that is flying on social media is not true. You people should stop carrying fake news up and down. It is not right. So they had to quickly, post that. That is the man's wife there, and that's the siblings. You can see the man's wife in the middle, and that's the brother and the sister. And also, this publication is basically, reporting the same thing that there's nothing like that, no fight, that they are not fight. They even said that. This is what they said. They said this is what they said, that um I'm alarmed and literally emetic, to put it mildly. The state to read the heartless publication, wife, brothers of late owner of collapsed building, Oshibona fights over bank details, exotic cars, other assets, engaged lawyers. Okay, this is what the lawyer and the family are saying. Mm, what a wicked imagination from the heart of man knew uh, when the airing news medium are reporting such. They said this ignoramus report, as I said at an earlier time, family, friends, and classmates, church members, well-wishers, and thousands of acquaintances of the deceased, some Ekene indigenes, because he's from Ekene in Ogun State, three ex staff and other people, said that the online news is all bullocks. It's all bullocks. Basically, that's what they are reporting. That there is no outer of truth in this news that's been flying on social media. Yeah. I don't know where these stories are from. If you ask me who I go ask, for me, I have no clue where these stories are from. But that's why the family had to go the extra mile. That's the picture. Let me show you. Yeah, you see the picture? That's the man and his wife, and that's the family. You can see the picture. You can see that's the wife doing, and that's her there with the siblings. So I don't know where these news are coming from, my people. This is it. People like bad news, okay? Bad news sells. So because of that, some people have taken it upon themselves to manufacture lies just to deceive the public and to sell their papers or their blogs, which is rather sad. Okay? I'm telling you, it's rather sad. Nothing like that. They said nothing like that. Yeah. Bloggers, yes, will just from nowhere will start cooking up story. One of the publications that first broke this story, I am so disappointed, honestly, because it's one of the ones that thought at least they would do their investigation properly. And it's like they keep copying from one another. When this blog carries it, this one will carry it, this one will now borrow it and run with it. Nobody bothers to investigate anymore to say, let's even go and find out what happened. Let's even go to, even if we can't go to family directly. Even we cannot go to the family directly, let's even ask somebody that is close to the family what is happening. No, nobody bothered to verify. Everywhere they are carrying news. Oh, wife is fighting. Oh, she's come back. Oh, they told her not to enter the house. She's gone to carry a lockbar. She's arrested the family. They told her to stay in a hotel. They beru alone. People should fear God. Oh. They should really fear God. Why carry fake news? Must you manufacture news that is not true? And the thing is that when they cut them out like this, they will not even have the decency to come and put a rebuttal out there and say, this social news we carry so day, it's not true. It's come to our attention now that it's come to our attention that this thing that we didn't do our verification properly, we didn't check this story out, and we apologize because all this fake news hurt people, whether you like it or not. Don't forget that this man has children. And they will be seeing it on social media that they are mourning for their father, and they will be seeing it on social media that their mother and their father's family are fighting over property, which is not true. So I don't know. People don't just have conscience. A lot of people don't have conscience. They don't have a soul. They just care about how they make their money, whether ethical or unethical. They don't care. They will carry any news and run with it. But I'm telling you categorically now, from the horse's mouth, there is no such thing. Lori Ironi. Somebody sat down somewhere and just, fabricated that story to sell their blogs. Ironi. It is a lie. There is no fight going on. The man has not been laid to rest. There is no fight between the family. Okay? All right. That's been established. Now, let's move on. Okay. So, tonight, we are going to talk about, I want to talk about inheritance. Okay? Because because of the fake news, social media now, a lot of people have been carrying it upon themselves to be fighting. The fight is not small, my people. The fight is very serious. Like, people are literally almost boxing on comment sections on Instagram over who should inherit. So people make money. Men, in this case, a man is a billionaire. He's got a lot of money. And for those of you who don't know this man, I told you he's my church member. Let me show you a video of this man. I will show you a video of him, and then we'll come back and continue the conversation about inheritance. Okay, we want to talk about inheritance. Who should ideally be inheriting? Because the conversation is around when somebody dies, who should his money go to, his wealth? And this person has something very interesting to say. Before I post that, let me show you. This is the late Oshibano.
Somebody coming to your church for the first time, you now say, oh, they are using makeup. Remove the makeup. Then the same person, you've discouraged him or her, she goes to another church, they welcome her. And you are now saying you want to cleanse the whole world. And you are now shocked that why people are reducing. But that person, the person who came to your church, you don't understand what that person is going through. Also, when you say wake up, makeup. Even most of all your members, if they don't use makeup in church, they use it outside. What does makeup have to do with the Holy Spirit? Papa Oshofa's daughter, Sister Edith, she said it clearly. Papa Oshofa, the founder of the church, his wife, Sister Margaret, Sister Edith's mother, who was one of the greatest prophetess that Celestia produced, that she uses makeup.
So that was just him giving a talk there. I think he was being interviewed about the use of makeup. As you know, in Nigeria, if you wear makeup in some churches, they will drive you out. Mm. So, inheritance. This man has a lot of it. Okay. And unfortunately, he died very young. Okay. Which is a tragedy. And now, the conversation that has, come up as a result of his passing and the fake news social media is who should inherit. And let me read this to you. This is very, very interesting. Somebody called Chris Ogbonanya had this to say about the conversation. I told you there's been a lot of contributors. He said, if I have the kind of wealth that is worth fighting for, such wealth, he says such wealth should remain in my family, i.e., the compound family. Are you guys hearing? He said compound family. I don't know what that means. I think he's referring to, he said, okay, he explained. He said, my brother, my sister, and my parents. Okay? My brother, my sister, and my parents. That is what Chris Ogbonanya said. He said the truth is that in reality, most wives, most of the times, do not have direct influence in the wealth. They are just there to enjoy the wealth. Yeah? The trustees to my wealth should sort my children's future. A very good settlement for wifey, and share the rest of my siblings and share to the rest of my siblings and parents. That's if I am deleted interstate. Then it goes on to say women will still find love and move on. And that wealth will be controlled by another man entirely. Sorry, but the most women, he says sorry, but most women may not understand this because of their DNA makeup. You see the insults? How he's insulting us? Eh? I consider that a slap in the face because he thinks he's more intelligent now because he managed to write this up now. Most women, our DNA makeup does not make us to understand. Okay, you can already tell that this is a chauvinist. Uh-huh. And then he said in 2009, a friend of ours passed, leaving stupendous wealth. His elder brother, who was also very rich and also in the same business, they gave the young wife 40 million naira cash plus the twin duplex in Okota in Lagos to stay in one and rent the other out, plus another shop to keep her busy. Okay, since she's jobless. And then the brothers took over the wealth and still cater for the nephews and nieces. Brothers, I hope you are here, you are listening. All of you working very hard, tirelessly in the diaspora. This can be your brother talking. Okay? So don't think you are working for your children. No, this is your brother that wants to take over your inheritance and then cater for your children from afar. And then he now said the brothers took over the wealth and still cater for the nephews, their nephew and nieces. In 2021, the wifey remarried, which to my mind is good than having relationships up and down. You see again, another statement. This guy is full of it though. Now imagine if all the wealth is left for her. Now so one deadbeat man would just sit on it for what? Let the wealth remain in the family. Okay? So the family here, I underline it because we need to define who the family of a man are, who is the family is. And he said there's more to life than trying to sound politically correct. Written by lawyer, Dr. Apostle Chris Ogbonanya. Let me come to the comment section and see whether people what people are saying. Oluremi said this is one of the Mongo Park. Hey. Akinwande said African men with African mentality. And she said every man should have a written down will in case. of the inevitable. Mhm. Kay says, in the West, the inheritance belongs to the children, but in some deluded part of the world, the inheritance goes to the extended family. So the conversation is, who is the family? Thank you very much, my sister Ajibola. Who is the family? Yeah, who is a man's family? This is a man that I believe he should be close to 60 years old. Okay. We never know when the day that someone will go and rest. I'm sure he didn't plan that he was going to, go out this way, but life happens. Mhm. So social media has been heated up with people saying the money should go to his family, in quote, that is his brothers, his sisters, and his family. And we do see this happen quite frequently. Okay, let's even take Mr. Oshibono out, the late Mr. Oshibono, out of the equation. We see this happen very frequently back home in Nigeria, in Africa, whereby a man goes. Okay, once he goes, the family, his brothers and sisters, will now tell the wife to leave all the inheritance. So in some cases, it's so bad that they drive her out with the children. Yeah, it happens in Hollywood a lot, but this is the reality. And they will say, go. Your marriage to our brother is over. Everything belongs to us. And then one of the brothers will take control of the wealth. And of course, he's got his own immediate family. So the wife will need to be going to beg. We've not paid school fees. Oh, the children have not eaten. Oh, we've not do this. We not do this. Hmm. So, my people, who is your family? That's the question. For anybody, we said it, we done shows about, the need for people to write their will, to have their testament, to have this, to have, legal things in place in case anything happen. But let's say that you don't. God forbid that you don't, but you are this wealthy. This, some people are arguing that they should settle the wife to go. Because in my own mind, my own personal thoughts about this is that we work for our children. Hands up. Hands up if you believe that all this hustle you're hustling is for your children, not for one lazy ass brother who's sitting somewhere in across the world that doesn't know how you suffered, that will come and take control of what they don't even know how you built. And the fact that Ogbon now of a human being is saying that most wives don't know how their husbands made their money. It's just very, very sad and pathetic, because as far as I know, there is no man that is made that his wife, except you are from a very rich family already and you are born into the world. But for somebody like this man, like this Femi that you guys have seen just now, he made his wealth himself. We don't have any record of anyone saying that. He was left an inheritance by his parents. He worked hard. And I believe that his wife had something to do with it. Because don't forget that people marry in their 30s, in their 20s, or, and this is 20 years later. This is 25 years later. So how are you going to tell me that you are married to a man for 25 years, 30 years, and you had nothing to do with his success? Even if you are not working, let's say you're a full-time housewife, because I understand you have 4 kids, the fact that you've given him the peace for him to be able to walk, the encouragement, the prayer, the support, and you are at home nursing his children, his offspring, his blood 100%. So somebody like this man now will have a son, who is probably, we were told that one of the children is already in university. So the wealth will not go to the child that is already in university or that has graduated, but it will go to brothers and sisters. For them to share. We're not saying in this case, because we've established that there is no fight going on in his family, praise the Lord. But the conversation is around, who does the wealth belong to? So some people are saying that no, it is not the wife, it is not the children. But I mean, if going by what I just read to you and what that person was saying about it should stay in the compound and in the family, and that women don't have the DNA to understand it. Okay? And I tell you, if you memorize this name properly, ladies, Chris Ogbonanya. Chris Ogbonanya. If you come across anybody called Chris Ogbonanya and you don't know this is where he stands on a matter like this, Okay, so you will be informed going into anything with him because it's already established that this is where he stands. And he's not alone, no. He's not alone on this. A lot of men are on this position that their wealth that they've suffered and labored for, when they go, it shouldn't go to their immediate family, which I understand to be your wife and children. Even if you say the wife should be placed on an hour, what about the children? So you are going to subject the children after their father has worked, he's labored, he's toiled, to be going to one miserable uncle somewhere to go and be begging for school fees, to go and be asking for money. You know, there's a lot of I'm telling you guys, this thing is not even a joke. There are so many children who come from very wealthy family, but today they are scrambling to get by because of this thing. I'm telling you guys. And that's why I felt like we need to talk about it in case some people may not be aware, so that, people can share their opinion. I want to hear from you guys. All right. I've been talking for 35 minutes. Okay. I'm sharing my link. Come into the studio. Tell me what you feel about this. When we are talking about family, who is a man's family? And when a man who has any asset, let's say he's not even that wealthy, let's say he has maybe some properties, money in the bank, some assets, some stocks, some whatever, who should have the legal authority over a man's inheritance when he is gone? Please come into the studio. Let's have a conversation. I particularly want to hear from brothers tonight, but sisters too. Yeah. Yeah, come into the studio and tell us, yeah, what you think about that. Before I take my callers, I've already got one person. Bookie, I see you. I want to thank you all for all you did yesterday for the show, your contribution towards Yabo's um, case. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you all. God bless you very much. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. God will bless and reward you. You will never lack anything good. All of you that donated, thank you. We're already in contact with some people, are already in contact with her, and I'm going to help. And I will give you updates as time goes on with reference to how Iyabo is doing. Thank you so much to everyone that's contributed. I have to say a big thank you, that whenever I call upon you, you always, come true for me. God will come true for you. God will answer you in the day of your trouble. You will not be homeless in America. You will not be homeless in the UK. Wherever you are in the diaspora, you will not be homeless. God will reward you handsomely in Jesus' name. So thank you. And guess what? That video was not monetized by YouTube. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. But I suspect it's because of the crime, because anything that has to do with crime, YouTube frowns against it. They say it was against their community guidelines, so they didn't monetize it. Yeah, very, very, very sad. Okay, let's get on with the conversation. Who does the inheritance belong to? Bookie, I got you. You're welcome, sweetie.
Good morning, Sister B.
You're welcome.
Thank
Where
you
are you greeting
for.
good morning from?
Oh, it's afternoon. I didn't even know.
I'm wondering, are you in Australia?
No, no, it's afternoon. Thank you
Yeah,
for replying back to my text yesterday, confirming that you got the
yeah.
pin.
Thank you
Because,
so
like I
much.
told you, yeah,
Mm,
PayPal was acting up, so I had to do it with
mm.
what is it called, Cash App.
Yeah, cash
And
out.
I
Yeah.
appreciate, yes, I appreciate all that heart that you sent to me. When I saw it this morning, I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
You're welcome. That's the least I can do. Thank you so much.
No
Okay,
problem.
God bless you.
So this is what we need to start talking about wills for a head of household, whether you're a man or a woman. You see this Mr. Whatever, he's
Mhm,
like you said, he's not alone. No. This is their mentality. How can you say that a woman did not have an impact in your success? Like you said, even if she's a stay-at-home mom, the fact that I'm staying at home and I give you the opportunity to go out and work, picking up kids from school, doing homework, dropping, it's a full-time job. Sometimes I look at myself, I'm like, how am I even doing this? I'm working, you stop from work, go pick up kid, come back home, cook, do homework. Before you know it, it's 10 o'clock. You sleep, you repeat the same thing again tomorrow.
mhm, mhm,
So how is it that the woman is not an impact?
hmm,
And in this world that we're living in now, it's even the woman that is making money. How about that? It's the woman that is making money. How many men, please don't be mad at me. I'm just telling the truth. A lot of this men, it's really the woman that is the head of household. But the topic, even though this one is not true, with this family, they're not fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is not happening every day.
Yeah.
In their case, it might not be real, but this this
Yeah.
this happened, and that's why people must have wills.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say, Sis B. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Buki. I appreciate your contribution. God bless you very much, my darling. Okay. Buki has said it. Will. And I feel like sometimes people want to wait until they are old before they write will. But we've established here as well that you don't need to, don't wait though. If you have built that house in Nigeria, put it in a will. And as you are getting more assets, investing more, be putting it. Your house in the abroad, put it. The all those stocks that you have or whatever investment that you have, please, money in your bank, put it. If you have like some large deposits, um, you have some large deposits in your bank account, just put it. Yeah, you can update it, but start somewhere. You need to start somewhere. I don't feel like people should wait till they are old because some people feel like, I'm not dying now. So there's no point. And it is very, very uncomfortable for we women or wives to have that conversation with our husbands. To be honest, I'm not going to lie, put my hands up. I've never ever had that conversation with my husband if he has a will. Never. Because I don't want it to be misconstrued that, oh, why are you asking me if I have a will? But I don't think he would do that in my own case. But how do you have that conversation with your husband and say, please, is there anything that will protect? They don't know. You don't know who will go first. It's not written anywhere that is the man that will go first. Sometimes women go first. Like, we heard the story of this pastor that his wife had just passed now. One wife passed before, another wife has passed now. Okay? So sometimes it's the wife. But is there something in place to buffer when especially the person who makes more or who has, built more in the family's name? I mean, do they have something in place to protect the ones that are left? Miriam, I got you, sweetie.
Yeah, Sister P, good morning
Good morning. Where are you joining us from, sweetie?
from California.
I love California. California, yeah. Welcome, sweetie.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm so grateful for having women like you. You are really doing us proud.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah, this thing that is happening now. Unfortunately, I had this conversation with my husband yesterday.
Aha.
So I was asking him because I seen this kind of dragging property. I don't just understand it. So I asked him, the way husbands, siblings, and families drag properties. I even use Lindy Cage as an example.
Mhm.
What if that money belongs to the woman and the woman passes? Can the woman's family come as well and drag the property? Funny enough, he said they don't have the right. I said, why? Why don't they have the right, knowing that that money belongs to their sister, that you don't have anything, you don't have any impact in that money? That money was built solely on their sister. You have you, you having the money just because of marital status or all that, but they know fully well that the money is their sister's money, and the sister passes. Don't they have the right to come and claim, this is my sister's house, this is my sister's cars, this is my sister? He said no, they can't, that they will go to court. I said, oh, they don't have the right, but a man's siblings have the right to come and drag the man's property. He said, anyway, unfortunately, that is how it works. I said, anyway, I told him to his face, I said, the best thing, any woman, if I have a way, I will tell women, if you have anything, if you don't put it in the name of, if you have kids, put it in the name of your kids. If you don't have any kids, if any means possible, put those assets in the name of any of your siblings, or take your documents and give to your siblings in case anything happens. Because
You trust your siblings as well. There are some
maybe
siblings that are also very, very wicked. They will take everything and allow your children to suffer.
No, I mean, if you don't have a child,
okay,
give it to your sibling. But if you have a child, entrust everything. Just write a will. If you mean, just whichever way you will do it. If you go to the bank, put your children's name as your beneficiary. Whatever you are buying, any nest of kin you need to put your children. Do not put that man's name in anywhere. I told him to his face. I said, you've really taught me a big lesson.
So were you able to ask him if he has a will, your husband?
Oh no, he doesn't even go there. If I ask him, he looks at me as if because marrying him, the family already was calling me a gold digger. They said I came in to marry their obodooyinbo brother now. So I don't ask him. I try to build my own.
Do you have children?
Build my own. I have children. I have 3 boys.
Well, if he doesn't, you may not ask for yourself, but what you can gently tell him when he's when you've sweetened
No, I
him
don't
up.
have kids for him.
You don't have kids yet.
It's my second marriage.
Oh, okay. So you guys don't have kids.
No, we don't have kids. So what I do, anything I do, I just put my children's name.
Does he have kids from a previous relationship himself?
Yes, he has 3. I have 3 from my previous marriage.
So you guys don't have kids together?
No.
That means Oyolo, wow.
Yeah, I understood it from the beginning, so I don't even bother.
He's told you.
He told me to my face.
He told you. Yes.
Yesterday was a big eye opener for me because he was trying to tell me, let's build together. You know, this building together. But when he said that yesterday, oh my God, I thought through it all through the night.
Yeah.
I said,
he told you exactly that his money. He just literally told you that his money belongs to his brothers and sisters, his family.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the family already knew because the way they drag, they even his shoes, they want to drag his shoes.
Is he the only one in obodooyinbo in his family?
He is the first one, but he brought 3 of his siblings here. Others are in Nigeria. There are many.
I see. So he's the
breadwinner.
Breadwinner. Oh, I see. Okay, the Lord will help you.
No, that one is not a problem for me. I don't even. I'm this kind of woman. I like being independent. I want to have my own. I don't look into what a man has.
Yeah, secure your future with your kids. Then that's what you can do because you know there's nothing coming from there if anything happens.
Yeah, I know that already. Yeah. But it was a big eye opener for me.
Yeah.
I hope a lot of women would ask this kind of in a subtle way and know the minds of their husbands, so they won't be swimming in the name of marriage at the end.
Building together. If you build together, then you don't have entitlement to that inheritance. Then what do you do?
What would you do? Because before you know it, some are diabolical, some are dudes.
Yes, yes. If you want to see where people will enter into the biggest shrine and go and look for juju to delete somebody, is the inheritance.
Yeah.
When it comes to fighting for inheritance, people are ready to do anything.
Anything. They can kill for a plot of land. Imagine when you have millions. So I was just saying, honestly, women should just open, because this building together, especially here in America, let's build together. Unfortunately, you think you are building with somebody, you don't know you are building for your in-laws.
Wow. That makes sense. That's a lesson there for you, obodooyinbo women.
Yeah.
Please, check that your building is not for in-laws, that your children will be secure if anything happens. Very, very important point. Thank you so much, Marian. I appreciate your contribution, my darling. Have a good evening, my darling. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Precious, you are next. Unmute yourself. What do you have to say about this matter? Oh, hey. Marian has just opened another dimension to the matter now about building. When you are building together and they now tell you that you don't have any entitlement, what do you want to do now? Hey.
Yeah, TV. Good evening.
Good evening, Precious.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I just want to appreciate you for what you are doing. This is a very good topic, to discuss. I'm very, very glad to hear this, being discussed. Because sometimes we take things for granted.
Yes.
And we don't want to love ourselves. Like most times we just want to love every other person, but we don't want to love ourselves. And saying this now has opened my eyes. Like what Miriam just said, that's a very, very good question to ask. Anybody, any woman that has a question to ask that question. But mind the way you're gonna ask it. But ask that question directly or indirectly. Ask to know where you are. But even after asking that question, you have to have your own plan, whether or not the man is gonna will the wealth to you or not. Have your own backup plan because sometimes
Backup plan B. Have a plan
yes,
B.
because we Nigerians and Africans is very, very like it's rampant that most times when a man is dead, the family fights for the properties, whether it's a thing or a pocket, they will fight for it. They don't care if their brother has a case on it. So
Your
let's
audio
be
is not
very,
it's
very
not
careful.
very good. Yeah, it's like you are far from the speaker. Are you on a speaker phone? Yeah, Precious.
Okay, yes,
Your
yes,
sound
hold
is
on.
very muffled.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I was saying, yeah, I was using my Bluetooth. So I was saying, let's have a plan B as women who are married, especially with kids. Like Madam Miriam said, um, whatever you are doing, this is an eye opener for me too, because I'm just like when she said that, I was like, that's a good one. Oh.
Mm,
Let's have a plan B, especially for for us
mm,
that have kids. Make
mm,
sure whatever you are doing, your kids are your next of kins.
mm-hmm,
Because we are Africans, we are Nigerians. Wherever you're
mm-hmm.
coming from, property is a big deal in
Yes.
Africa.
Mm-hmm,
They don't care, even if it's a pin or bucket that their brother have, they're gonna fight for it. So
mm-hmm,
please, women, let us be very, very careful and plan accordingly. Ask that question that Miss Miriam said she asked her husband. Ask it,
mm,
but be careful of how you're gonna ask that question so it
mm-hmm,
doesn't trigger any issue, please. But
mm-hmm,
ask it and also know where you stand in their family.
mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Precious. I appreciate your contribution. Amoti, you are very, very smart. So you reminded me. Yeah. Once upon a time, we had this show where we were talking about Daramola. We hadn't started doing the live shows then. So it was just videos. You guys remember? They were building together in America. Oh, and the woman, she's a lawyer. She said she worked her butt off to build together with this man. What happened? When Uncle relocated back to Nigeria, he took another wife and they locked her. They locked Mrs. Daramala. You guys remember that fight? It was ugly. She went to Nigeria and she was ready for war. She was ready. And the side chick or the new wife too crossed her leg and said, "You cannot drive me from this house." That's a very good example. Omoti, you are right. This is not even that one is not even that one person has gone to be with the Lord. Though this one is right. You see me, I see you, koro koro. When the man decided to take another wife, or when she said he left America to go to Nigeria. Next thing is another woman that was in his house. That fight was brutal, but she won eventually because she drove that woman out. She fought that side chick, took over Mr. Damala's bedroom, her clothes, everything, all Mrs. Damala clothes, he packed everything, put them in outside and took over another woman's sweat. When Mrs. Daramala started telling us how they made that money, you will know that she's the one that paid 80% of what they used to build the house. Eh? You remember Mr. Daramala and his side chick. So people that did not sow will want to reap where you have sown. That's another dimension again. Oh. Not even talking about, one person has gone to be with the Lord, but when there is a divorce or when somebody decides that, okay, I'm tired of this marriage, I want to check out of it. What happens to all this building? And now again, if you look at it on the other side, we women, I mean, we wives, especially the Christian ones, you want to be submissive, you want to, do things with your husband so that it won't seem as if you are disrespecting your husband, or that, you are doing things alone. So you want to do it with your husbands. But what is the guarantee? Hey, wahala dey oh. What is the guarantee that our future, our children, God forbid, will never suffer in Jesus' name? Socks, you are next, oh. Please come into the studio, guys. I'm not staying long. We're only going to do
Hey,
an hour and a half.
Auntie B.
Yeah, you're welcome, my darling.
Yeah, good afternoon from Maryland. So I decided to talk about this because this guy in question is so hardworking. Apart from being hardworking, he's very spiritual.
Yeah.
I went back to listen to some interviews that he had with journalists, and I was like, this guy is so eloquent.
Yes.
I don't know if he was born rich, but from his
No. No.
interviews, I could know that he started selling shoes,
He wasn't born
t-shirts.
rich. I said he used to live in London. He's a
You
member of
see?
my church.
You
That's what
see?
I told them at the beginning. I know
And he,
him.
you see, and he is, I said, this guy works so hard. And the saying that behind a successful man, there's a woman. And I'm sure his wife was always on his feet praying for him.
Mm-hmm.
She was securing the home. But be the case, we Black women, we are the most, I don't know what I would say about Black women, but I have some pointers to talk.
Yeah.
If you cannot talk about will to your husband, please talk about having a life insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
When this man died and I heard that the family is about to take his properties, I told my husband, I said, Oga, see what is happening in Nigeria with this guy. He said, my family is not going to do that to anybody. Do you know what I told my husband?
No, he doesn't know that.
No,
Mm-mm.
let me tell him. I said, the last time I went to Nigeria, your sister took my shoe. And I told her, I need my shoe. She told me, is it not my brother's money?
Socks, please don't make me laugh. You say it's from shoe that you will
From
not somebody
shoe,
that will
you will
join
know
house
that
with
I
you.
cannot have property.
You can't trust her if she say it's my brother's property that bought shoe for you. So you, a grown woman like you, cannot buy your shoe because they
I'm
think
telling
that
you.
you are all those jobless and people don't have work in Nigeria, that you live in the diaspora and you cannot buy your shoes. Your husband that is buying shoe for you. Abby?
Yes,
You
so
see?
Auntie B, so if you know I cannot have my and I didn't get that shoe back.
She says my husband that is your brother, is the brother
It's
that
her
bought it.
brother that bought that shoe for me. And I told him, my husband just walked out of the house. He said, why am I dwelling in the past? I said, I pinch myself.
No, it
I
is
pinch
a signal
myself.
of what is to come. Oh, God forbid you.
Mm.
They say in my
Secondly,
language, soaks. Before you go to your second point, in my language, they say when fire burn you, if you see ashes, you go they run.
now so,
Hmm.
secondly, when you are in the obodooyinbo, you begin to see your potentials. Educate yourself, women.
Mhm.
It is not a crime for you to have two jobs. You're not going to have two jobs forever. If
Good.
one job is not enough for you to secure the bank, give yourself 6 months and have a second job.
Absolutely.
Add it. Have a savings account, especially when you have children. Don't think your kids are too small. Talk to them about what you have. Oh, mommy and daddy, we are going to do this. We are going to do that. But mommy is going to do this. This is what I want to do. Always communicate with your kids. If you have 3 children, one will listen, one will not care. As you're talking, you're looking at their eyes. One doesn't want to know, but one is interested.
Yes.
And one is just sitting in between like, okay. But you're passing information.
Yes.
Always communicate with your spouse, with events around you, and see his reaction. That's my 4th question. My 5th point is that try as much as possible to be legally married. You know, some of us, when we come here from Nigeria, we want to do arranging marriage with paper. We divorce ourselves back home and come down here, and you find your way here, find your way there. All those things, at the end of the day, it tends to haunt you. It backfires. You, the husband, will say, but you know, we are married now, but we're here to secure paper now. Do your thing, I will do my thing. Meanwhile, people in the Nigeria, they don't know that both of you are trying to do something. No. Peradventure, anything happens, you're on your own. No. Like I said, share information with your children. It's not like we are planning to say that these men are bad. But our in-laws, you don't know the heart of man. The Bible says the heart of man is desperately wicked.
And you know the funny thing, so even your husband and my husband Our husbands, they don't even know their relatives because what they will
Definitely.
show them when they are here is not what they will become when they are gone.
Definitely.
Hmm.
I have two, before I leave, two families. One, she just bought a piece of land, like 3 plots of land with her brother. And she decided to build. The brother was not able to build. Now the brother said, I want to sell it. She loved this, her brother, so much. Now the brother is fighting her tooth and nail. The sister is saying, how do I sell this thing when I've already built my own property here? We already said, this side is your side, this side is my side. You see how the heart of man is very wicked.
He wants to sell everything.
He wants to sell everything. I have a colleague at work that was telling me is it on Monday? Today is Wednesday. The paper she used in buying property in Ghana, the husband went back home, changed everything to his name. The heart of man is desperately wicked. Women, know your self-worth. Don't sell yourself cheap, but be loving to your husband. Know your self-worth. Don't sell yourself cheap, but show love to your husband, because that is what we have to do. Auntie B, have spoken. Bye-bye.
Wow. Well said, Soaks. Well said. Thank you very much. You spoke so much. In fact, I couldn't talk again. I just could not talk again. I was listening to you. So much wisdom. God bless you, Soaks. You always bring it 100%. Even the Bible says that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children. Me, I'm not even talking about wives, though, because most wives would be okay. But it's the children's own that me, I'm even fighting. The reason why we work is for our children. How are you going to allow your children to suffer when you have suffered, so that your children don't need to suffer like that? Look, brothers, if you are listening to this, please, I'm begging you, don't make that mistake. Because those your relatives, you don't know them, you think you know them, they will allow your children to suffer if you don't make provision for your children, if anything happens to you. Okay, you are in this abroad now, you are working. Like Soak said, most of us, we have 2 jobs. You are working in the winter. In autumn, you are working. In spring, you are working. In summer, you are working. You take one, if you try too much, 2 holidays in a year. Some men don't even have time. They are working all through the year. How will it look like if the people that are more precious to you, which are your offspring, your flesh and blood, your babies, do not enjoy what you have suffered for? Don't even, let's not talk about wife. Let's not talk about wife. Your children, you're going to allow them to suffer like that? And one Mongo Park uncle somewhere, auntie somewhere will come and start fighting your children, fighting your family because of your inheritance. The one in Africa, me, I don't even talk about that. That's why I tell anybody that build house in Nigeria, that is your own. You build, fine. Me, I'm not going to Nigeria to go and start looking for any property or drag any property. Any property you have there, if they want to take it, take it. But some people still have assets in Nigeria, like estates. Okay? Lee, okay? You are next, my darling. So please, let's do the right thing. No?
Hello, Auntie. How are you?
I'm all right, sweetie. You're welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Auntie. This is such a topic that makes me cry. I have worked with so many Nigerian women. I'm a life coach. And Auntie, the amount of Nigerian mothers that have suffered because of what you're talking about. So, I like to look at numbers and data. So statistically, between the age of 40 and 60, 1 in 10 Nigerian women will be a widow. So if I go onto your channel, there's 850 people watching your channel now. Statistically, half of them are going to be widows between 40 and 60. And I'm talking about the women.
Yeah.
Right? Now, this is often because men don't tend to look after themselves until it's too late. So unfortunately, the women carry the burden. So what I tend to say is this: we have to learn what can you control or what can you not control.
Mm-hmm.
And like the other caller said, many Nigerian women, they lack financial literacy. That is our problem. We can tie gele from 9 till midnight.
Mm-hmm.
We can dance. We can cook. We can actually make the money, but to keep the money and to manage the money is a completely different story. So
Absolutely.
so what I thought I would do instead is give some tips to all of the
Mm-hmm.
ladies for them to use this tip and strategies and say, okay, how do I protect my family?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the easiest things you can do, which will not cause conflict, is something I called mortgage control. So mortgage control basically means you increase the amount of money you pay on your mortgage every month.
Okay.
What that means is once if your husband passes away, or even if the wife passes away, you
Mm-hmm.
have enough money, enough leverage on your house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Which means that if you were to sell it or take equity out, so there's money to take out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. At the moment, I think Barclays Bank said 80% of Black families are paying the least amount on their mortgage.
Yeah.
If you're paying the least amount on your mortgage, that's wahala waiting for you if something was to happen. So
Yeah.
that's something they can do very easily. Make your husband increase that payment. If your husband's paying 500, increase that payment to 650, right? And what that means also, he won't have money to be spending on nothing else. At least you know that he's not sending 150 to somebody, one brother or one sister. Something else you can do is something called mortgage insurance. So mortgage insurance means that if anything happens to your husband, you're covered for 1 or 2 years. Are you hearing me, Auntie? So this is
Yes,
not
I'm
this
hearing
this
you.
this is not even go and save money. Just simple things you can do. You're covered for 2 years or 1 year. So if anything happens to him, no one has to evict you from your house. That's very, very, very important. And even if he has a terrible will, because many men, if the wills that they write is shambolic. I've been in meetings where the will has been read and they've given the will to the son. And you'll be so surprised when people die, Auntie, people's behavior is very different. You now see the son and the mother having conflict within 24 hours. And sometimes the son can be 21 years old.
Yeah. He's not matured enough to manage it yet.
And you think he's immature. And then you go into that, into the room of the lawyer and you see how
Lee, we can't hear you anymore, sweetie. Oh, you're making so much sense, Lee. Oh, unfortunately, your sound has just cut off. Oh, it made a lot of sense. Anyway, thank you very much for your contribution, Lee. What she is saying basically, let's be financially smart. Increase your mortgage payment monthly. Get mortgage insurance cover, she said. So that if anything happens to one person, you are covered for the next 2 years. Life insurance, very, very important. We that live in diaspora, we get insurance for everything. We insure our vehicles, we insure our gadgets, we insure our everything in the house. Why can't we insure our lives? Very, very important. Amati, you're next, sweetie.
Good evening, Auntie B. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you for this show. Right. If you remember, last time myself and my husband we came on the show and we talked about finance and so on and so forth. I think one of the problem is financial literacy. A lot of African family does not understand financial literacy. I mean, it took me a while for me to understand it, but when I did, I'm making the best use of my money right about now. If you remember, during our interview, myself and my husband, we did mention saving for our children. I would do, I mean, I'm saving crazily for my children because I knew what I went through. So I don't want them to go through what I went through. Life insurance, my husband is aware of it. We both decided we're going to take one. And we have one in place now, should in case anything happens. He's my beneficiary, I'm his beneficiary. Even at work, when I changed my job recently, I had the opportunity. There's this thing, part of my contract to say, work in debt. When you die, on service, the insurance. I mean, when I split it into 4. So my kids get 30% each, and the remaining 10% goes to my husband. I'm not being selfish. What if I'm gone and they want to go and marry another woman? It's not going to. I mean, they can have 10%. That's fine. But my children get the bigger chunk of that money goes to my children. I'm more concerned about my children. Not that I don't love my husband. I love my husband, but majority of my money is of the chunk of that money is going to my children. And also, when it comes to insurance and will, the thing is, because we grew up, I mean, it's more like our parents did not talk about those things growing up. Say, for example, they talk about marriage, they talk about religion, but that aspect of life, they don't discuss it. They don't talk to us about it. Hence why most couples struggle to have that conversation. I remember asking my mom that, what about life insurance? What if anything happens? The next thing she said, you want me to die?
Yeah, that's the traditional way of looking at it. Once you ask them about will, they'll start saying, you want to kill me? Why are you saying something like that?
Failing to realize that this thing is absolutely important. Should in case anything happen unexpected, no one knows when you're going to go. No one knows what's going to happen the next minute. But when you have these things in place, it tells you that whoever you are leaving behind will not have to carry the burden of paying for your bills, sorting this house, the funeral, the this, the that. They don't take that into account. All they want is, okay, I have children, and my children will look after me when I die.
That doesn't work. That worked in the 70s, in the
In the
80s, not in
70s.
2021.
Not in 2021. So part of the
Yeah.
majority of the problem is financial literacy. I've had friends who have heard that when they collect their child benefits, they buy wigs, they buy this. Yes, I love shopping. I spend my own money, but the money for my children, their child benefit, I don't touch it. So I encourage my friends who don't do this thing that, listen, you can't
What
manage
about
to
those who
spend this
collect
money
their own benefits and they save it all up and add to it and go and build houses? You feel like
and build
all
houses
these houses in Nigeria, our
in
children are ever going
Nigeria.
to access them?
If you look at the houses they are spending this money on, by the time you convert the money, what you spend to build a house, and now collecting rent, and you're thinking, I'm paying, I spent over 40,000 pounds building this house, and I'm renting out 2-bedroom flat for 500,000 naira a year. How much is that? That's peanuts. That's absolutely peanuts. But the key thing is, African, family needs to sit down and talk about this thing regularly. Myself and my husband, we don't have any problem discussing this issue. It has never been an issue. We talk about it freely. We don't have any problem talking about it. But
Yeah.
let's do things right. Let's start
Yeah.
thinking about the future of our children, which are the most important thing. Because the
Yeah.
world we are living now, things are evolving so quickly.
Quickly, very
Things are
quickly.
evolving so quickly, and we don't know the life that these children are going to encounter when they get to this when they get to that stage of their lives. Let's
Yeah,
start planning for
absolutely.
them. Let's start
Yeah.
planning for them. That is my take. When I see people, my friends who cares to listen, I tell them this is what I do. Go to this site, look at this thing. Auntie B, when I got made redundant from my last job in April, Auntie B, myself and my husband, I took 1,000 pounds from that money, and my husband put his bit. We bought Bitcoin, and we saved it away for my children.
Are they still going to use Bitcoin in the future? Do you know that? Is there security in it?
I'm not sure there's security in it, but as the way Bitcoin is going, the world cryptocurrency will eventually, at some point, be one of the major, money exchanging and buying stocks.
Currency.
That's
Okay.
my
Thank
take.
you very
So
much. Yeah.
no worries, Auntie B.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Amoti. Have a good
No
evening,
worries.
my
You
darling.
too, man.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Lara, you are next. Unmute
Hello.
yourself, Lara. Yeah. Hello, sweetie. You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, this is my first time on this show, and I'm glad to call in. This is a very interesting topic. I just wanted to share my own experience growing up. Lost my dad. He was 44 years old
Very
when he
young.
died, very young, in a car accident in Abuja then.
Hmm.
And my mom, around that age too, she was a secondary school teacher. But thank God that I think alongside teaching, she was selling like vegetable oil, the big kegs. My dad had connections in this vegetable oil factories, so she sells alongside, and she was doing so well. At a point, my dad said, "Why don't you just quit your teaching job and face this squarely?" And she was like, "No, I'll just continue doing this on the side." And then boom, the accident happened. 7 children. I'm the firstborn. I
Wow.
was, I
That's
think,
a lot of
19. Yeah, I think I was
wow.
17 at that time,
That's a lot
1998.
of
So
children.
lots of children, but my dad was very rich for his age. He had built the house. In fact, he just changed all the cars. He he changed all the gadgets in the house. He was doing well, and thank God, he was even about to change our house from a bungalow to a double to a story building when everything happened. Thank God he had not even embarked on that. But where am I going in this? He had siblings. He's a twin. He had siblings, all educated and everything. The first thing they did, they came. My aunt was promising heaven on earth. They would take care of us, blah, blah, blah. His elder brother, all he wanted was his money in the bank. They did everything they could, but thank God my mom was educated and alert. She got a lawyer. They
7 children, and you
7
want the man's
children.
money.
They said my dad was helping his twin brother to build his house because his twin brother was in UK then. My dad was in Nigeria, so he was helping his twin brother to build his house in Lagos. Whatever, they came up with something. Oh, he has some money in his account from the house he's building. We want to take some of the money. How do we even know how much is left and things like that? And then they took the car. We had 4 cars. They took the Mercedes Benz that they want to sell it to fence the land he bought in Lagos. And one of the downside of this was that my mom didn't even know most of the things my dad had.
That's the worst.
That is the word. She didn't really know much. And my dad is vibrant, 44, making it. He was trying to do so many things at the same time. Even after he's dead, so many of his friends that came to return money that he borrowed them. What about the ones that we did not even know? But the bottom line is that his siblings were, till today, we don't know where that land is in Lagos. We don't know whether they fenced it or whatever they did to it. But I just thank God that everybody is doing well and fine. But my mother she stood her ground. Like, he had not taken anything from this. And the money helped us to a very large extent, all of us. I mean, to get through secondary school, get through university before we started working and all. And I thank God for my husband right now. I'll even be the one to say, what are we doing this for? What are we doing this for? He will tell me, well, Tosin, if anything happens today, everything is in the email. He has sent everything that he has. We have a joint email that everything that he has, anything, I will just pick up from there. So this is a real eye opener, and for women to also liberate themselves. My husband is a medical doctor, but I don't even ask him for anything apart from maybe monthly groceries. I have my job that I'm doing 24/7. I'm not depending on him for anything. If I want to do anything, I have my job to back me up. So this is a very good eye opener and a great reminder. I love this show, and it's really
Thank
a great
you.
reminder. I just wanted to share my story.
Thank you. Wow. Well done to your mom for standing up for herself. It's not easy to stand up to in-laws in Nigeria. It's a battle. She must have been she knew she had to be strong because 7 children, no joke. Congratulations to her for raising 7 whole children. And the in-laws, instead of them to come and help, they still want to collect. You see what happens? That's why I say you never even know all these your siblings that you think, oh, my brother will look after my children. No, your brother will take everything and allow your children to suffer. Because maybe when you were alive, you were richer than him. He said, hey, God, now my turn to shine. Your papa never enjoyed. I beg, go and sit down. If the children go to him, they will abuse the children and send them packing. Don't put your children in that position where Joe to your long. Protect your children's future. Leah, you are back. Sorry, you got thrown out.
Sorry, Auntie, my reception was terrible.
Yeah, you were saying something about increasing and getting mortgage insurance.
Okay, we did increase your mortgage payment, number one. Number two, purchase, mortgage, home insurance, right?
Yeah, you spoke about that as well.
Yeah. So number 3 was healthcare insurance. Now, healthcare insurance is something people don't know much about, but especially for if you imagine if it's the woman that dies and it's the husband left. Now, no one talks about this, but a lot of men, they struggle to look after the children on their own once the wife passes away, because what happens is the husband has to work. And the majority of the men, they're not used to working and taking care of the children. So what your healthcare insurance will now do is provide a nanny service. So you can take money, your husband can take money out and employ a nanny, employ a childminder who would help him look after the children. And
I
that's very,
see.
very important, because what I've seen a
As if
lot
you
of.
have young children, right?
Yes, and what I've seen a lot is when the wife passes away, the husband feels pressured
To
to get
marry.
another woman.
Yeah. To look after the children. Yes.
Yes. And in the pressure to find another woman, what happens then is that unfortunately they don't often make the right choice. So all the money he's worked hard and all the money the wife might have left, what happens is the new wife comes in, that money now gets spent on the new wife and maybe her bonus children.
You were
You
saying
see?
something about how a son and mom were fighting because the will had been left in the son's name, 21 years old.
Say that again, sorry.
So you were saying about how the will was left for the son, 21 years old, and then, the son and the mom got into it because of that. Leah, can you hear me?
Oh, my line is really bad. I'm so sorry, Auntie. Can you hear me?
Yes. Somebody said
Oh,
they need to hear the completion of that story you were telling about the mom and son, whereby the will was left for the son who was 21 years old.
yes. That story was the will. The father had left the will, and he had put the son in charge of that will. And the wife didn't think anything of it. In her mind, she was thinking, "Oh, my son, he's going to take care of me." But they walked
Mm,
into the office, and she didn't know that he had left the control of the will to him.
mhm,
So she thought, we had the meeting and she was very happy and she was thanking God. Oh, she was a Yoruba woman. She's like, "Share, thank you, God, that, you left the will. My son will take care of everything." By the next day, I received a phone call. She was crying. She said,
mm.
the son said that he's selling the house on Friday and that she has to go and.
Already?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he wants to sell the house.
Yeah, he said he's selling the house. I think he wanted to put it on the market. He said, "Oh, no, he doesn't like this house, that they should move to a different area and that they should buy a smaller house." He sold the house in 2 months. He gave her £30,000. He took all the rest of the money, and it was terrible. She was
Yeah,
homeless
that's why
within.
you need to put a clause in it. If you are leaving inheritance for children, you need to put in clause they should be held in trust. That's where the trust comes in. It should be
Yeah,
held in trust until a certain age. Because there's no how a 21-year-old is not just gonna. He will probably end up selling even the new one he buys. He will mess up the money and mislet
yes,
it. Buy iPhone, buy Jordans, and just waste it. Go on
yes,
holidays, and the money will
yes,
run out quickly. Trust
yes.
is very important for young children who are not matured enough to that level. Yeah.
Yeah, and your trust, if you set up a trust, it's not expensive at all. And your trust
Mm,
doesn't have to be a family member. It can be someone in your office that you had a good relationship with. Just somebody that is not emotionally invested in your family. It has to be someone from a completely different um connection, just so that they can give a very honest perspective over the situation.
yeah. So he has the money. He's the one is gonna come to, but you won't access it until you are 35. Go and work. Go to work as
Yes.
well. Hmm.
There's something like so that's very important. I think the other one is well, for a lot of women, the women that are full-time mothers that are at home with their
Mm,
children.
mm,
If you are a full-time mother at home, it's a very great job. I think we need more full-time mothers. I think it's an honorable role, but you have
mm,
to make it work for you. So if you're a full-time mother, I want you to register yourself as a business. Every full-time housewife, if you're in the UK or America, you can register yourself as a home business,
hmm.
right?
I
So
like that.
what that means is that if you were to pass away, you have some sort of shares that can continue. So your daughter can take the shares or take the assets from that business, and she or he can do something with it. So you could be a housewife, and you know what? You can register yourself as a childminder, right? Even if you only looked after, imagine you might look after your nieces and nephews in the summer holiday or in the Christmas. You can add that to the business and say, look, I look after children. Whether if you're a caterer, maybe you're someone, you say, oh, I cook sometimes. That sometimes can be a business at home. And then the shares in that business, once your children are old enough, they can take that money. So that's another way for you to ensure that your money is working for you. You know, there's a purpose. That your money shouldn't be, sort of draining away somewhere. You should be making sure that you're pouring assets into your home business, and that can be valuable for you in the long run.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Leah.
You're welcome, Auntie. Okay,
Very,
bye
very
bye now.
important point. Bye, sweetie.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Yeah. Very, very solid point that was made. Thank you. Temidi, you are next, and I think you perhaps my final caller before we wrap it up. I'm going to end
Okay.
in 5 minutes.
Good evening. How are you? I made it after all.
Yes, you did.
I'm tired, but it is well. Everyone has made great points. I'll just keep it short and just kind of share a little of personal experience as well. I was young when my dad died. I was 12. Ooh. Well, okay.
I thought I was young, but I was 21.
Well, it's still young, right? It's still
Yeah,
young, but
I felt like I was so young.
Depending on what stage you are when your parent dies, it hits you.
I was already in university when my
There
dad
you
died.
go. Yeah. So my sister and I had a funny, not argument about it, but she was 26, I think, or in her late 20s, and she was already married and had a kid. And she's like, "Oh, I was so young when Dad died." I'm like, "Excuse you?" I was like, "Well, if you were young, what should I say?" And she's like, "No, I was young." I'm like, "Well, technically, we were all young, but anyway." Needless to say, no one really plans for such devastation, right? My father was in his 50s when he died in a car accident in Nigeria, like many people. And, I learned later on as I grew up that my parents' relationship was not typical of what, quote unquote, you would say a Nigerian or African marriage was in terms of openness and transparency. My mom was on everything. Even everything. So my dad didn't have a will because their generation, they didn't do it. Let's just be honest, they didn't do it. They rarely did, and will was non-existent for the most. Sorry, life insurance was non-existent for the most part back then. Wills were only
Not
as
so
good.
much.
Yeah, even if you had a will, honestly, it was only as good as whoever even knew was there. But my mom was on everything. So no one could, well, I know there was she shielded me from a lot of things, but I did hear things here and there. And of course, as I've gotten older, I've seen the issues she's experienced with her in-laws in regards to ownership. People have this sense of entitlement to other people's money. It is beyond real. How is it that you, a sibling, a cousin, feel like you are entitled to someone else's money who has a wife and children that they
Yes.
behind?
They say the wife did not contribute. Most times wives don't contribute. So
Like,
settle her like the house help and tell her to go.
do you understand? Like I've never truly really understood that mindset. And in my case, my mom did contribute. My mom worked hard. In fact, my mom was someone who liked property. My dad didn't, right? So it was actually my mom who pushed to get a lot of the stuff because she was interested in it. To the point she would go get it and say, "I've got it," right? Now help us, let's finish it up. And my dad would be like, you started again. So it's funny to me that something that your quote unquote sibling or your child had that they built together with their spouse, you're like, "Oh, it's ours," and trying to encroach on it. Thankfully, my mom had access, so she wasn't cut out. A lot of people get cut out when their spouses pass on. They don't know half of what the spouse is involved in. That needs to stop, because in the end, your kids will suffer, your spouse will suffer. Because if you're hiding your assets, you can't take it with the grave with you. You can't. And guess what? It's going to be a stranger who knows about it, that you didn't tell anybody about it, who encroach on it. There are people we know, family, friends, who they didn't know what their spouse was involved in. And the people who was either building the house or had the account for them, when they noticed that no one came calling for the money or the property, they encroached on it. It's only many years later that when you see the property or the documents or something, you try and go back, but it's too late.
It's too late, though.
Yeah, it's
It's
too
gone,
late.
no.
It's too
It's
late. It's gone.
gone.
And if you try and fight too much, you
I mean,
might
why
lose
is
your
it
life.
now, Temidi, that when someone dies, the next thing is that they start looking for their bank cards. They
Yes.
start looking for where the money is, where the estates are, where the things. What is that?
Sense
Were they
of
waiting for the person
entitlement.
to just go?
Sense of entitlement. It's like, oh, and it's so sad. It happens to everyone, even if you're young. I had a friend who died recently in Nigeria. Unfortunately, she went on vacation and she never came back. And she has 5 children. The day she died, the next day, her family went to go and raid the house. She had a house in Nigeria. Everything. They raided the house. They took. There's video evidence of it. Like they were even taking the AC unit. Like seriously. You have not buried her.
They are stripping the house already.
Yes.
Hey, Chineke.
And then they were now fighting with her lover or her partner or whatever you want to call him about, oh, you killed her. No, you killed her. Return everything my daughter bought in this house. It's not yours. I'm thinking, what about the children? What about the children's well-being? Thank God the kids are Canadian. We were able to bring them back. But whatever the mom had in Nigeria is gone. Because trust me, those kids are too young to go and fight that battle. And it's not even worth their lives because God knows what will happen.
No, especially property in Nigeria. Yes, you can't. No, exactly. Don't even go there. Don't.
And even
they'll just put juju on the ground, they'll step on it, and then sickness will start. Don't even bother.
Even how she died is even questionable.
Yeah, yes. It can be because of that house that they just took her. You don't know. There's wickedness all over the place. So
it's not even like you would take the money, you would spend it, it would disappear. The money will not last forever.
No.
It's not worth somebody's life. But
go and tell them.
Unfortunately, people don't see it that way. I will never forget the moment when, after we had come back from the burial ground, and we were at home, because you know how then you put the body in the floor, everything really hits you again. Like, wow, this is it. And I will never forget my dad's sibling, which is well. She said, as a child, that thing really scarred me. She said, "Oh, what's going to happen to all these cars now?"
All these cars, what's going to happen? Who's going to drive them?
Like she said it, and she said it in front of me.
If nobody to drive them, if the children are to you, return it to the dealers and sell them off and get the money and put in the bank for the children and the family, the wife.
How could you say that? Why are you worried about the car? Who cares about the car? My dad is dead.
Yeah, that's what they think about inheritance.
Yes, right. And of course, and it's
somebody asked a very, very important question to me.
Yeah.
They said, if because of this conversation around who should inherit, whether it's the wife or the family, the extended family, because the concept of family, according to Nigeria, is the brothers and sisters and extended family. The wife and children are not family, apparently, to some people's understanding.
Okay.
So somebody was saying that if the man had debts, for instance, when he died, let's change the equations and say he was heavily indebted when he passed. Who are they going to come to for the debts? Is it the wife, or would the family be so willing to come forward and say, "Oh, we'll pay, we'll pay, or bring it, we'll pay."
In our dreams,
you see.
People only want to take with property. Nobody wants to settle any debt. What debt? That one they will know that the wife is the wife. It's your husband now.
Yeah.
It's your husband now. Settle it now. Yeah. It's again. It's picking and choosing. And it's amazing, like you said. It's always, they will never show that side with a sibling or the family member that passes away. They might see it a bit that okay, fine. These people kind of like look to me a lot or pressure me for stuff, but no one truly would know how your family will react when you're gone. So the best thing is to ensure that there is no room for fighting, because you shouldn't be fighting when someone is gone. You should be mourning the
protect your family, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Protect your family.
A will is important, and a will that you know what's in it. Okay, I don't believe in this. There's a will, and you're surprised.
You hide it from the other person.
Yeah,
from the wife.
Absolutely. So that example molded me for when I grew up, and I'm a married woman now. I understand that. Oh, if not because my mom had access to stuff both in Nigeria and abroad, we won't be where we are today. We would have struggled a whole lot more than we did, because it's still going to be a struggle regardless, right? But at least we were able to say, okay, of course, eventually they did encroach on one or two properties here and there, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. I had to tell my mom, you know what? Those ones are gone. It's in the village. Honestly, none of us, we're not interested.
Leave it.
Let
No
them feel
need.
like they took something. Let them take
Mm,
it. Right?
yeah.
The ones
Yeah.
that are important places, I said to her, I said, don't hold it for anybody. I told my mom, I said, don't hold it for anybody. Flip it and use it. Let it be a living inheritance for yourself and whoever you want to give it to. I don't know about this going back home nonsense, because I'm not about to go back to Nigeria and have somebody be chasing me up and down the place over a
Mm.
property that my parents
Or
had.
you'll be dreaming. You'll be in America and be dreaming
Okay,
of masquerade
okay,
chasing you up and down,
okay.
nightmares every day,
There,
because they've
there.
taken your name to one shrine to say that you will not have
Absolutely,
peace where you are because of one property. No, it's not worth
absolutely.
it.
I
It's not
think we've
worth
got
it.
we've gotten to the point whereby we have this new generation whereby the children or the grandkids are very far removed from Nigeria, and that
Mm,
whatever you have there, the truth is, they're not, most of the time there's very little to nobody who's going to come and take over it. The most
yeah.
that will happen when you go, they will
I
sell it.
think that whatever you have here, yes, for your immediate family, whatever you have in Nigeria is most likely going to your extended family.
That's it. So you have to be careful not to over invest in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if you choose to do Nigeria because you plan on maybe retiring there one day yourself, you need to ensure that the documents itself are in the names of you and your partner, and or you and your kids, or however we want to do it, and say, okay, in the
Yeah.
event that this happened, this goes to this person. In the event that that happens, this goes to that person, and then make arrangements for that, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think we
Thank
all
you. Mm,
we struggle with what's the word, wills, because even my mom, who was a widow herself, whenever I say to her, I hope you have a will that is clear, I hope you have a will that has instructions. Oh god, oh god, you just, let's talk about that. I'm like, mom, like, I
mm,
think if anyone should know that death can come
mm.
whenever, it should be you. Right? I don't
Yeah.
know why we are so uncomfortable
It's
about
just our culture. Yeah. Because it's not the will itself, but it's the what it links to. It
mm,
signifies to them, to that generation. Will means somebody is going to pass. And that is something that we black people don't like talking about. Thank
but
you
it's going
so
to
much,
happen.
Sweetie.
It's going to happen though
It's
as
going,
well.
it's inevitable, and we don't plan it. You don't get a letter saying I'm coming tomorrow. Everybody has their own dates, whether we like it or not.
That is
We just
true.
pray that God gives us long life. Thank you, my darling.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your contribution very much. Have a good
You
afternoon over
too. God
there.
bless.
Yeah, God bless you, sweetie. Yeah, so this is where I'm going to draw the curtains tonight. It's not going to be a long one. I said I was going to make it 1.5 hours, and we've done that already. So the conversation is around inheritance. Hmm? Who get inheritance when Olori Oko is gone? Men, now they work, 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 work. Who go inherit you when you go? So I'm just going to end by saying, first of all, be enjoying your money. Oh, okay? As you are working those 2 jobs, 3 jobs, or you have a very high paying, any high paying career you have is usually very pressured. Okay? So if you have a business, there's even double pressure for you. Enjoy your money, number one. Okay? Don't wait until, oh, I will enjoy later. There's nothing like later. Mm. There's nothing like later. All right? Be enjoying your money now, 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 now. Number two is that please, ma- there's no, we cannot even, family, the concept of family, it remains. Your immediate family is your wife and children, your husband and your children. That is your family. Then your extended family are now your brothers, sisters, uncle, nephew, nieces. Most times your parents would have gone. Most people, their parents are not, it's not very often you see people that die, except when young people die like this, that you see their parents are still there. They are still your family, but your number one family unit is wife and children. Yeah, we practice the extended family culture in Africa, which is fantastic. I love it. I love it. I feel like we are in this day and age are moving much more towards the European way of life that say family is just wife and kids, husband and kids. The extended family is for a reason. And I actually like it. That's another conversation for another day. I like the way our families are built in Africa because it provides a lot of support for, whereas here the families are so isolated, it's just wife and kid. Here over there is a bigger structure, okay? And we are close like that. Families are very close back home, which is good. But please, me, I believe strongly that if you are working because of your children, number one. The other partner that you're going to leave behind because don't forget that you both labored hard for whatever it is you have. Like I said, even if the other party did not, especially if the wife did not work, the fact that she's there raising those children, like this Mr. Femi's wife now, we know that they are not fighting in their own case. That was just fake news. But 4 children that she raised, that woman raised 4 children by herself, is not a joke. So protect your children, protect the future, your legacy. Your son or your daughter are the ones that carry your DNA that will bring prosperity to your name. So even if you go, your name kò lè parẹ́. Omotani, who is that child? Who is that child? Is this person's child? They will be calling your name as long as they are saying your child. So please protect your children. Don't wait until I arrive when I build 10 houses or when I have a billion naira, $1 billion in my account, or 100,000, whatever in my account before I will do will. No. As long as you have any asset that you can exchange for money that is worth anything, even if it's worth £5,000, $5,000, it is worth putting down. Write it down. This, in the event anything happens to me, this belongs to my wife and children. This belongs to my son. But if they are still young, it will be managed by so in trust until they are so age. So protect too. And don't forget what Leah told us. She gave us very good free financial advice here tonight. Pay more, increase your mortgage payments if you have a mortgage, which she called it mortgage control, which means be paying higher than your monthly payment. They say Africans that the barest minimum we they pay. We don't like paying enough or too much. The more you pay, the more you are going to own. So pay more monthly and then get mortgage insurance. Leah also advised us about that. It covers you in the event of the other person, going to be with the Lord 2 years. Imagine planning a funeral and you are thinking, oh, how am I going to pay mortgage now? What am I going to do now? In this part of the world, they don't play. If you don't pay, bank will come for you. You can lose your house. And if you lose your house, they repossess your house, is wahala. At the end of the day, by the time they finish doing anything, you might not get anything back. All that money will be gone. All the money you put into it will be gone. So please, very, very important. And she also talked about health insurance that you can use in the future as well. Trust fund, very, very important. Not that expensive. It's not only billionaires that has trust fund, my people. Let us learn financial, wisdom. I don't know why we Africans, we work hard. We are very hardworking people. But when it comes to talking about money, wealth creation, accumulation, we know how to accumulate it too. But, in terms of investments and storing it, because we like to spend. No, I don't think there's any ethnic group or any race that spends like black people. Chai, black people, they spend nonsense. They spend. Now they spend. They spend. So that culture of if you are rich, they need to see it on you that is from head to toe diamonds. I don't know. Every man land to their kettle, but for me, I feel like leaving something for the rainy day because you never know what's going to happen is always better. Don't wear everything that you have. If you have $10 or £10, don't use all of it to go and buy other people's brand to wear on your body. I'm not saying don't buy designers though, but ni one ba, do it according to what will not influence negatively on your future, your children and everything. So let us learn financial education. Very, very important. There are people that give free financial advice. Even if you go, they will advise you. If you have a bit of money you want to invest, they will give you advice what to do. Oh, I have this £10,000. What can I put it into that will yield me income? They will advise you. Look out for those people. Go and meet them. And finally, I'm going to say that anything you are investing in Nigeria, whether you are a woman, you are a man, you are a parent, male or female, because I know some of you have all these massive mansions that you're building in your village. I know it's very important to some men to have all these massive houses. I'm not saying don't build though, but please know that if anything happens to you, your children cannot access it. Your family will not agree. Obodoyibo children have no time to go to Africa to be looking for one property somewhere. No, they are not interested in living in Africa. They are not. A lot of them are not. Maybe you see the occasional one that will say, okay, I want to live there. I want to live. But even when they go there, they live in the cities. They are not going to go to your village to live there. They are definitely not going to find any uncles or aunties because it's dangerous for them. So please, once you know that okay, if you go, you can let it go for extended family. Say you dash your molebi to take. You can do that one in Africa, but over here, I believe strongly that 80% of your investment should be in the diaspora, 20% in Africa. But some people put 100% in Africa and they have nothing here. And when they die here, then we'll start looking for GoFundMe to come and bury them. We start begging people to contribute, which is not good. Life insurance is not a luxury. The money you pay for life insurance is less than what you pay for your mobile phone. That's what I always used to do this analysis. Mobile phone contract, the minimum you pay in the UK will be about £30, £35, 40. Life insurance is not up to that. So please get a life insurance cover for yourself in the event that anything happens. And please, brothers, those of you that will be doing will and hiding it, don't hide though. Or if you have properties, don't hide. Let your wife know. Or let your child know. If your children are matured enough, they are in their 20s, going to 30s, tell them, this is what I have, this is what I have. Show them your mind so that it won't be like, Temi did, I was saying just now that, or one of my callers that said that the father had properties. They didn't even know what the father had because he never told their mom. So all the extended family will encroach on those ones and seize them. So let us do right by ourselves and our families. I thank you very much for being here tonight. Please give this video a thumbs up. Pascal, I was expecting you to come and speak. Okay, we'll catch you again another time. Please, let's do right by our family. And I pray that God will help us to do the right thing. Now, we they suffer for this money. Me, I like to enjoy my money as I did here. So, I know say I'm a minister of enjoyment. I don't play with my enjoyment. If I want to travel, I will travel. In fact, Corona has deprived us of so many things that I plan that by the grace of God, 4 times a year, I will travel by the grace of God to go and chill because I enjoy traveling a lot. Whatever you like to do, do it. Our lives will be long in Jesus' name. Our life will not be short, but life does not be. It's God that gives us life, and we don't know the day that He will say, "Okay, it is time to come back and rest." May the Lord help us. We will not die before our time. He will give us long life and He will prosper us in this land. In this land, wherever we live in the diaspora, we will excel. Ashori Lagbara long. Thank you so much, everyone, for tonight. And I am back tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we have a live show. I have a guest tomorrow. I'm back tomorrow at 7 p.m. with a guest. My guest tomorrow is in the US and she's coming to talk to us about Oyibo that she married in America and what Oyibo is dealing. Oyibo is dealing with her. Please, Oyibo wants to put her in second slavery. We need to deliver this sister tomorrow. So let's meet here tomorrow at 7 p.m. and listen to her story and then provide information and advice on how to get out of that situation. She describes herself as an illegal immigrant. I don't like that word illegal, but she's undocumented. And the Oyibo is taking advantage of things. So we need to tell that Oyibo that slavery is over. So tomorrow, guys, please, let's come into the studio. And we need a lot of advice, especially those of you, my brothers and sisters, gentlemen and ladies who live in the US. Okay? Information and advice, very, very important to set our sister free from where she's going through now. Thank you so much, everyone. See you tomorrow at 7 p.m. GMT. Have a lovely afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I love you guys and have a good night. Bye-bye.